The Chicago Bears take on the 9-2 first place Cardinals this Sunday at Soldier Field. Can they pull off the most miraculous upset of their entire season? Watch this video to find out. What's going on, guys? I'm back with the Chicago Bears prediction videos, which I'll be doing every single week this year, regardless of if we're still in the playoff hunt or not. So if you guys want more Bears videos, subscribe to this channel. I'll be coming out with Bears videos every single week this year. But in today's video, I'll be talking about the upcoming game between the Bears and the Cardinals and giving guys some predictions for this game, which... guys, I hate to admit it, but this is going to be probably one of the toughest games the Bears have played of the entire season, okay? I don't see any way in which the Bears are not going to be outmatched in this game. They're definitely going to be severely outmatched in the talent department, in the coaching department probably as well, because the Cardinals are 9-2 on top of the entire NFL, okay? They only lost one game with their backup quarterback, and the other one they barely lost against the Packers. I think that was in Arizona. So... even though this team has been missing their top two talents on the team, okay, both Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins have been out for a significant portion of time, they are still a 9-2 first place team and they don't show any signs of letting up. And unfortunately for us, guys, DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray are both expected to play in this game. So we can't even catch a break there, but I guess we can't complain too much because we did face the Ravens without Lamar Jackson and still lost to that team. So regardless, man, this Bears team, it's going to take nothing short of a miracle for us to beat the Cardinals, even though we're going to be at home. But I will say, guys, this is the NFL. It isn't any given Sunday league, and crazy things can happen any given Sunday. So even though I think the Bears have a very low chance of competing in this game, I will say that anything is possible, okay? So let me break down both the rosters for you guys, talking about the Cardinals offense first of all. And this is one of the most explosive offenses in the entire NFL, even without their starting quarterback. But now the starting quarterback is likely going to come back, okay? They rank number 10 in yards per game, the number 5 in points per game. They're the number 9 passing offense and the number 10 rushing offense. So very well balanced. They can rush the football as well as they can pass the football. And like I mentioned, guys, their MVP caliber quarterback, Kyler Murray, is going to most likely return in this game. Kyler Murray is one of the most dynamic young quarterbacks in the entire NFL. He can beat you through the air and he can also beat you with his legs because he's probably only second to Lamar Jackson in terms of speed and athleticism at the quarterback position. He is obviously a pretty short quarterback, but that doesn't hinder him whatsoever. At least it seems like it has not hindered him this year because before he went down with an injury, he was playing at an MVP level, okay? He had 2,276 passing yards, 17 passing touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 7 fumbles as well. So he has been turning the ball over a lot, but there's also a lot of big plays that come with it, okay? So getting Murray back is no doubt going to be a boost for this Cardinals offense. He is probably going to be rusty to some extent, but a quarterback this good, it's not going to take them that long to shake off the rust. So Murray is going to be the most talented quarterback the Bears defense has faced since Tom Brady, and that did not go well whatsoever, okay? So I'm a little bit worried about how Murray's going to do against our defense. I think he can probably have a pretty good day because they also have a very stacked receiving core, okay? They have pretty much 5 guys that can go up there and win their one-on-one battles, okay? They have obviously DeAndre Hopkins most likely coming back for this game. What do I have to say about DeAndre Hopkins? You guys already know he's one of the best receivers in the entire NFL. He can do it all. He can do the possession catches. He can go down the field and win the one-on-ones. He has great route running, great body control. So Hopkins is one of the better receivers in the NFL. They also have guys like AJ Green from the Bengals. Okay, a lot of people thought this guy was washed up, but that's clearly not been the case so far this year. He's actually made a bunch of really spectacular plays. They also have young guys like Christian Kirk, Rondell Moore from Purdue. So they have a lot of guys that can win their one-on-ones, and all of these receivers that I named, all of them have at least 400 receiving yards on the season. So you can clearly see that this Cardinals passing attack is very well balanced. Okay, all the targets are not just going to one guy because they have so many guys that can win their one-on-ones. They're also number 1 in the NFL in yards per pass attempt. So it's been a lot of big explosive plays, guys. Okay, a lot of 30, 40 plus yard touchdowns because they do have the speed here. They do have the playmaking ability, and that's what's been happening for this Cardinals offense. That's why this team is so damn good. And obviously with Kyler Murray, you can expect a lot of those big plays to be coming back. Obviously, they also added Zach Ertz a couple of months ago, which he's also the 5th guy, I would say, that can win his one-on-one battle going down the field. So plenty of receiving options all over the field. They do have a 2-headed running back monster as well because keep in mind, guys, this team can also run the football very, very well. They got James Conner and Chase Edmonds, which both of them can run the football and also catch the football out of the backfield because they both have 400 plus rushing yards and also 170 plus receiving yards each. So overall, man, this Cardinals offense is very dynamic, very explosive, and they're returning their MVP level quarterback, so it's going to be a very tough offense to stop. Talking about the Cardinals defense then, they are also no slouches at all, okay? They're number 5 in yards allowed per game, they're number 4 in points allowed per game, they're the number 4 pass defense and the number 17 run defense, and defensive coordinator Vance Joseph has done just a very phenomenal job with this group this year because even though they've had injuries on this defense, okay, they lost J.J. Watt for probably the rest of the year, and they also don't have a lot of big names on this defense, okay? For the casual fan, they probably would not be able to name many guys on the Cardinals defense. He has them playing at a very high level collectively, okay? Because this group can definitely get pressure on the quarterback. That's probably the best thing this defense does. They're top 6 in sack percentage, even without J.J. Watt, guys. They have 2 guys on this defense that have at least 8 sacks. They have Chandler Jones with 8 sacks, and they have Marcus Golden with 10 sacks, which both of these guys are some of the better pass rushers in the NFL up front. So getting pressure on the quarterback is definitely what this Cardinals defense does the best. Their secondary also has been very good in limiting big plays, guys, because if you look at the stats of the secondary, they only allow 6 yards per pass attempt, which is number 4 in the NFL, which is really damn solid. Okay, they got Robert Alford and Budda Baker playing at very high levels this year. I mean, both of them have allowed the lowest passer rating in that secondary, in the Arizona Cardinals secondary. So both those guys are probably their top 2 guys to watch out for, but otherwise, the other guys also have been doing their jobs for the most part. Okay, there hasn't been too many missed tackles. There hasn't been too many blown coverages. It's been a pretty solid overall secondary. Not like an elite secondary, but good enough to have a good defense with that, dynamic pass rushing core up front. So overall, a very solid top 5 defense. Talking about the Chicago Bears now, I'll talk about their offense first of all. We're number 30 in yards per game. We're number 29 in points per game. We're the number 32 passing offense and the number 8 rushing offense. And we really don't know who the quarterback is going to be for this game, guys. Okay, it could be Andy Dalton again, or it could be rookie quarterback Justin Fields. Justin Fields did practice every day this week, but he was limited in practice. So I'm not totally sure who's going to be starting in this game. I hope it's Justin Fields because it's good for his development to be playing in more football games. That's how you get better at the game of football, by playing in more football games. So it would be best if Justin Fields is healthy enough to start this game. But if not, then Andy Dalton will be there. He's also a fine backup in my opinion. But this Bears offense, man, we've seen enough of it over the past few years to recognize that it is completely and utterly broken, okay? We are able to move the football down the field a little bit better in recent weeks, but we still struggle a lot in the red zone. We can't score points, guys, okay? We're only 50% at getting touchdowns in the red zone, which that ranks number 28 in the NFL. So even when things are looking a little bit better for this Bears offense, we mess it up somehow, okay? We have penalties, we have silly mistakes, we have struggles in the red zone. So at this point in the year, guys, this Bears offense is not going to get much better because the talent is not going to change right now, and the coaching staff also apparently is not going to change, at least in season. So it's a very bad Bears offense overall. Talking about the Bears defense then, we rank number 10 in yards allowed per game with the number 18. Scoring defense with the number 8 pass defense and the number 22 run defense. And pretty much, guys, our defense has struggled a lot against the elite offenses in the NFL. Okay, going up against the Packers, we allowed a decent amount of points. Going up against the Buccaneers, we couldn't stop a single thing that they were doing on offense. And the last few weeks, guys, we have been lucky to face some pretty bad quarterbacks, but that's not what Kyler Murray is, guys, okay? And their receiving core also is way better than the Lions receiving core or the Ravens receiving core. So the lack of talent in the secondary is definitely going to hurt us a lot because at cornerback number 2, we still have a giant question mark, okay? We had Artie Burns playing in the last game, and he wasn't that much better than Kindle Vildor, guys, okay? He allowed a big touchdown on the opening drive for the Lions. He got a little bit better as the game progressed, but he's still not a starting level cornerback in the NFL, in my opinion. We already have Khalil Mack out, okay, our best pass rusher. The only thing we have going well for the defense right now is probably Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn. And Roquan Smith might also not play in this game because he's not practiced, I think, this entire week. Okay, I'm recording this on Friday morning, so hopefully he's practiced today. But if Roquan also doesn't play, this defense has a lot of holes on it, and I don't know if it's good enough to stop a very good Cardinals offense. Let me get to my 3 keys to Bears victory now. Okay, how can the Chicago Bears miraculously win this game? And key number 1, guys, is going to be to have long, sustaining drives on the offensive side of the football for the Chicago Bears. Okay, I don't see how our defense is possibly going to stop this Cardinals offense because They have Kyler Murray coming back. They probably have DeAndre Hopkins coming back. They already had a good offense to begin with. So it could be a rough day for our defense, but our offense could help our defense out by keeping them off the field as much as possible. And you do this by chewing up a lot of clock on offense. Kind of similar to what we did in the last game against the Lions. On the final possession, we had a drive that went, I think, like 8 minutes to end the game, which is part of the reason why we actually beat the Lions. Otherwise, our defense probably would have choked at the end like they did in the 2 games prior to that. So you're going to have to run the football very well. If you're the Chicago Bears, you're going to need big games out of Monty and probably Herbert as well. And, especially after first contact, because this Cardinals defense is pretty good at stopping the run. So you're going to need Monty and Herbert to, plow through for some extra yards after first contact and, get into third and manageable situations, guys, because we need to convert third down pretty consistently if we actually want to keep our offense on the field and keep our defense off the field. So that's key number 1, guys. Key number 2 then is going to be to force multiple turnovers on defense. Kyler Murray this year has 7 interceptions and 7 fumbles as well. Okay, taking care of the football has been something that he hasn't done very well so far this year. Obviously, the big plays make up for them most of the time, but guys, Kyler Murray has not played football in almost a month now, and he probably is going to be rusty, at least to some extent. So the Bears have to absolutely pounce on every single bad ball that they get, because I don't see how our defense is going to stop this Cardinals offense otherwise. Okay, you're going to need multiple turnovers. You're going to need multiple picks, multiple fumbles to have a chance in this game and give your offense better field position. Otherwise, I can't see our defense being good enough to stop guys like DeAndre Hopkins, guys like Chase Edmonds, like Christian Kirk, DeAndre Hopkins. They have too many weapons on the field. We have to force turnovers if we want a chance of winning this game. And then finally, key number 3, guys, is going to be to play with pride if you are the Chicago Bears players. The last few weeks, guys, we have had some horrible efforts from the majority of the guys on this team. And I recognize that their coach is one of the worst in the NFL. This coach is probably going to be fired at the end of this year. They also have a lack of talent, but if you are a player in the National Football League, you should be playing with pride every single snap of your career. Even if the season is in jeopardy, even if you don't think you're making the playoffs, you should be having some level of personal pride, which enables you to play as hard as you possibly can every single day. And I feel like the Bears have just not been doing that over the past few weeks. We've been missing tackles. We've been being lazy out there in running our routes. We've had drops from our receiving core. We've had missing assignments on the offensive line. We have to be playing with more pride if we want to have even a chance of winning this game. It's up to the players if they want to do that. So those are my 3 keys to Bears victory. As for my score prediction for this game, I had the Chicago Bears going into Soldier Field and losing to the Arizona Cardinals by a score of 30-17. Just being realistic, guys, I honest to God just don't see a way in which we're going to be competing with this team. Okay, I've watched a lot of Bears football this year, and I can't see the talent in this team for us to be beating a team like the Cardinals. Obviously, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I look stupid after the game is done. I hope the Bears win by a lot, but realistically speaking, that is probably not going to happen. The Cardinals have 5 legitimate guys that can go up there and win their battles one-on-one, and we already have a bunch of question marks in the secondary. We also don't have an offense that can compete in a shootout, so I don't think the Bears are going to be winning this game, unfortunately. As for my offensive MVP of this game, I have that being Darnell Mooney, because he's been having a fantastic stretch now of games as being the number 1 receiver, which he's probably going to be the number 1 receiver in this game as well. I think he can get over hopefully 70-80 yards and continue his pretty solid sophomore season. So Mooney for offense MVP. For defense MVP, then let me go with the wild card and say DeAndre HOUSTON-CARSON. This guy has actually been one of the most underrated players on the entire Bears team so far this year. Okay, he doesn't play a whole lot, but whenever he gets playing time, he usually makes plays. So I think he gets an interception on Kyler Murray in this game to be defense MVP of this game. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. I have the Bears losing. Unfortunately, you guys know I hate to pick the Bears to lose, but I have to be realistic sometimes. And in this case, guys, even a loyal fan like me can't find a way in which the Bears are going to win this game. But it is an any given Sunday league, so hopefully the crazy happens and the Bears somehow pull out this victory, because if we do, guys, we could actually be the 7th seed in the playoffs this year. We're only a game out of the 7th spot, which is just absolutely insane to think about. Okay, we had a bad losing streak, we've had a bad season overall, but we still somehow have a chance to make the playoffs. But we'll see what the Bears do this weekend. Hopefully they don't embarrass us. Hopefully it is a good game and we somehow win. But leave your comments down below, guys. And as always, bear down.